development to the Caribbean region, Prime Minister Browne has been at the forefront of initiatives to strengthen regional integration and economic development. Let us put our hands together for
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you for your kind remarks. And I would like to acknowledge the distinguished Minister of Public Works and all of the other dignitaries, to include Master David Joseph, who is the CEO of LIAT 2020, and all of the other distinguished ladies and gentlemen. But today we are indeed participating in a momentous occasion, celebrating the inaugural flight of LIAT 2020 here to Guyana. And it is extremely significant from the standpoint that LIAT 97 Limited actually experienced failure. However, we had the resilience to ensure that we, back in 2020, incorporated the LIAT 2020, because we felt at the time that LIAT was quintessential to the integration movement, quintessential to connecting Caribbean people. So we had no doubt about the value of LIAT to help us to keep our integration movement strong. Antigua and Barbuda and the Republic of Guyana have had very close relations for many decades. In fact, CARIFTA, the foreign institutions in Caribbean, was actually started by three Bs, three prime ministers whose surnames can believe. And those are Browne, and Barbados, Antigua, and Guyana are responsible for bringing the Caribbean islands together to start CARIFTA, and that subsequently morphed into CARIFTA. So we recognize that there is a strong culture of integration within our respective countries, and we saw LIAT at the time as a very important institution to the integration movement to help Caribbean people to connect. And that is why we had a commitment to ensure that we re-establish LIAT as 2020, LIAT 2020. And I can say that LIAT 2020 is stronger and better than LIAT in any of its previous forms. And I'll tell you why. We have invested almost $200 million USD in LIAT 2020, which means that LIAT is certainly and easily the best capitalized airline operating with the Caribbean today. It has no debt whatsoever. The reason why I'm saying this is that you must understand that LIAT 2020 is here to stay. When you look at the prior iterations of LIAT, 74 and prior, the company was not properly capitalized. That's one of the reasons too why LIAT on two occasions would have experienced failure, because the airline was highly leveraged and could not pay for its liabilities, including the acquisition of assets, and in some instances did not even generate operational profit. As it stands now, we have a far more efficient LIAT and one that is well capitalized, which means too that the staff who work for LIAT do not have to worry about fly-by-night airline going bankrupt and that they may not be paid. In fact, I should add in passing that our government just issued a bond of $17 million to assist the LIAT workers, 1974 LIAT workers who were displaced. Not because we had any legal obligations so to do, but as a work organization, the Antigua and Barbuda Party, we felt that it was important to make a cash payment, and that bond will be issued within a matter of weeks. But we have capitalized LIAT 2020 to the extent that in the unlikely event of failure, creditors, to include staff, should not have to worry about whether or not there are any assets to liquidate to meet those liabilities. But going back to the issue of connectivity, LIAT has had a history of connecting Caribbean people. And if an integration movement is to be effective, you must be able to move people. So that is why I said earlier that LIAT is a quintessential institution to provide sustainable connectivity for the Caribbean people. And I want to emphasize sustainability because airlines come and airlines go. They may have been operating within the region, but don't be surprised if there is a consolidation of the market within the coming months and years. Because many of them are being opportunistic. LIAT is in it for the long haul. Now we also know too that LIAT 2020 is a partnership between AFP's Caribbean Limited and the government of Antigua and Barbuda. Now with this connection with AFP's Africa, in inverted commas, is the largest airline in West Africa, providing connectivity for Africa and a number of international routes, including the United Kingdom, which was recently launched. So this is a partnership between the motherland and the homeland, because we also want to make sure that not only we could effectively connect Caribbean people to ensure that we have an effective integration movement, but we also want to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place to move people between the homelands in the Caribbean and the motherland back in Africa. And this is where AFP's International will be able to help us to move people from Africa into the Caribbean, and even Caribbeans, for example, who would like to probably vacation in Africa, various parts of Africa. AFP to be able to provide that connectivity. So we expect that there will be a partnership, deeper partnership with AFPs, in which AFPs will operate flights directly between the Caribbean and Africa, helping us to move Caribbean people. Now in terms of assets, LIAT currently has 6 aircraft, and there's a 7th one to be added next year, hopefully no later than the middle of next year. And that larger plane will be a 125-seater, which means too that LIAT can also offer services outside the Caribbean. As it stands now with its 6 aircraft, LIAT will be in a position to move people between Jamaica and Guyana. And as you recognize, the launch of the Guyanese leg, and I'm quite sure very shortly they will be launching the Jamaica leg. So, in terms of connecting Caribbean people and to help them to move effectively, there will be no other airline within the Caribbean space that will be very able to move people within the Caribbean region, and to do so on a sustainable basis, and also at an effective pricing. In fact, LIAT has the best product, not only in terms of service, but also in terms of pricing. I just traveled on LIAT for the first time, over to Guyana. And I have been to Guyana on several occasions. And I can say easily, it is certainly the best flight I've been to Guyana. Not only in terms of the stability of the plane, but also in terms of the service. And I certainly want to commend the flight attendants for their courteous service. I don't know because I'm the Prime Minister, but it isn't a normal service that they will offer to the public. I got fed twice. And got a nice chicken sandwich. Normally, you don't get that kind of service unless you ride on a 3-4 flight. So if that is a new standard that LIAT is now established within the Caribbean, I think it augurs very well for the airline. And certainly the courtesy, the on-time nature of the flight and so on, if you continue that type of consistent performance, I can assure you that there will be many airline failures, and those failures will only go here. So I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who made today's program a success. I certainly want to thank the government and people of Guyana for embracing LIAT. And I'm pretty sure too that based on the close nexus between both our countries, that this flight certainly between Guyana and Barbuda will be very effective, and we should have good load factors, because as you'll be aware, Antigua and Barbuda easily has the largest diaspora, Guyanese diaspora in the Caribbean per capita. So with so many individuals wanting to come back home or to traverse between Antigua, Barbuda and Guyana, I'm pretty ensure that having a convenience supplying directly all the material into Guyana will obviously be of great convenience to those who wish to move. And even as Guyana continue to build its wealth from its oil exports, we expect to see Guyana transitioning into more service-oriented sectors, including tourism. And as you build out your tourism product, we have observed that already you're attracting new hotel properties, and it does make sense, government evidently is doing a good job in diversifying the economy. As you build out your tourism sector, then the demand for your product will increase, and you have to be right there to help you to transport tourists, visitors, returning nationals, Caribbeans into Guyana to ensure that you have consistent and reliable connectivity. So this is a great moment for Guyana, for the Caribbean people, certainly the people of Antigua and Barbuda, and we look forward to the continued support of the Caribbean people, the Guyanese people for LIAT 2020, as we seek to position LIAT 2020 as the Caribbean airline, the number one airline in the Caribbean, and certainly the pride of the Caribbean. Thank you very much.